Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. You know it, 4:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I am running late this morning. I was all set to do a political video this morning. Once again, I was going to talk about Donald Trump. My heart just isn't in it. Even for me, my dislike for Donald Trump, he's become just, it's so routine. It's the same stuff over and over again. And my heart just wasn't even in it this morning. Not even to bash him. I just didn't have to. I just wasn't. That's bad. He's losing this appeal when the people that dislike him just are bored by him too. He's lost it. Anyway, I started thinking. I kept getting distracted in my mind thinking about this squirrel, this video that happened. The video before this, what happened yesterday, and this has happened several times. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because it's not just a squirrel. There's another. This happened with another animal yesterday, right before the squirrel. I want to talk a little bit about this. I really think it's. I really believe that animals have a sixth sense, without a doubt. I don't know if they could see an aura around people. I believe that people have their soul, their aura. The vibe they give off, and. I truly believe this with all my heart that animals can see that. They could tell a good person. They could tell, because there's plenty of people that see these squirrel videos and they talk about those damn rats. I had them in my house and I was going to set up traps and I was going to, there's plenty of people out there that just have a lot of ill will as soon as they see a rodent like a squirrel. And I truly believe in my heart that animals can sense this immediately from a distance, and they don't see they see a good person. They see somebody that's not going to harm them in me and other people like me. I believe that with all my heart. Just yesterday, before this squirrel thing, before I get into that, let me say this too. I want to make a point of this. I have never gone out in the parking lot or outside with the intention of luring the squirrels or bringing food out there. I have never even seen other people do that. Because people assume that this squirrel must have been fed and people feed it and it's gotten used to people. And I don't know. It could be happening, but I have never seen it and I've never done it myself. This squirrel just started coming up to me personally. I'll get into that more in a second. Just yesterday, I was going for a walk, and this has happened 3 times so far. I'm walking my 4-mile walk in the morning, and I come around a corner, and I hear a cat meowing like he wants to get back inside, and I see a black cat about 80 feet across the street, and it's dark, but I can make out a black cat, and it sees me. And that cat just breaks. I don't know. I've never met this cat. I don't know who lives in that house, but that cat just breaks into a run, crosses the street. I'm afraid the cat's going to get hit. It's comes running over to me, meowing, going up against my leg. And, I pet it. And then after about 20, 30 seconds, it's got its fill. It said hello. And it goes back across the street and it starts meowing again to get back in the house. It's the weirdest thing. And this has happened to me my whole life. Like I said, I grew up out in the woods by myself with animals. My father was a game warden, and I grew up with animals. I grew up with animals more than people, and I really believe that animals can sense this. They can sense it. My father took me hunting when I was younger, and I just never had it in my heart to kill animals, to kill other living things. I really believe they can sense this. When I go out in the parking lot, every time, the first encounter that this happened with this squirrel was when there was a couple times I turn around and I notice there's a squirrel on its back legs looking at me, just staring at me. And I see, we make this eye-to-eye connection. And that squirrel just sits there and stares at me for about, it seems like a long time, but it's probably 5 seconds. And this is how it started. It didn't start with me going out there trying to feed the squirrels or anything like that. One of the second or third times is when I put my groceries down outside the door to get my keys, and I turn back around and he's up on the table trying to chew through the bag. And ever since then, we've become good friends. I truly believe this squirrel spots me in the parking lot. I don't go looking for him. I turn around, and every time I'll turn around and he'll just be standing there on his back legs staring at me, or I'll come out from underneath the car and just stand up on his back legs and look up at me. And I look into those eyes, man, and I swear, it's like a connection. It's a connection with another living thing. It's got, I feel like I'm crazy at this point. Even through the night last night, I start to actually care about this animal, this wild animal, and I'm wondering if he's warm out there, and if he's, if he's okay, if the owls haven't eaten him yet, and I find myself thinking about him throughout my day or throughout my night. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I wonder how the squirrel's doing. And it's kind of weird. Sometimes I've made videos on here and I've talked about getting in physical altercations before and stuff like that, and having to defend myself, because I was tall and I was kind of quiet, and I've had more than my share of altercations. I've gotten picked out, not picked on, but picked out in a crowd before. And I've done what I had to do. But I never felt good about hurting another person I've never hurt an animal in my life, but I've never felt even good about hurting another person, even if I felt like they deserved it. And I believe it's this, I really believe in my heart that animals can sense this, the sense of I hesitate to call it being a good person, but I think, in my heart, I don't have the will to hurt other living things. Like I said, when I look into this squirrel, when I see the eyes in the squirrel, I almost want to turn away, because it's scary for a second, because you can almost, there's a connection there. And I can't even put into words what it is. I've had this before with dogs too, because dogs have the most expressive eyes. And it's the same thing with dogs. I'll go to my friend's house and I'll make a connection. I'll look at the dog. The dog will catch me, we'll catch eye contact, and the dogs just come running over to me, even if I never even met these dogs before. I know there's a lot of other people like this. Animals, there's a connection between some people and animals. And I just wanted to talk about that this morning. I have never in my life found a squirrel. This squirrel yesterday, actually, I couldn't believe the squirrel actually climbed up on my bike, or up my leg. This squirrel actually jumps and then and you can tell he's a little scared. He's a little skittish, and at first I actually was, because this is so out of their normal behavior, that I was almost nervous. Maybe this squirrel has rabies or something like that. He's not acting normally. But that's not the case. As you can see by his behavior, it's just about food. And it really is, I understand it really is food driven. This squirrel doesn't have a crush on me and love me or anything. This squirrel is seeking out nutrition, seeking out food. But as you can tell too, this squirrel it seems pretty well fed. He's not starving. I've never seen a squirrel act like this. And it was immediate. As soon, like I said, I make eye contact with this squirrel. I turn around and he finds me. I don't find him. And he's just sitting there in the parking lot. And he comes right over to me. I've never seen this happen, not with the 150 other residents in this building. I have never seen it happen any other time with any other person. So I feel honored. I really do, and grateful that I seem to have this connection. I know other people have this too, this connection. I really believe that animals could see goodness in our heart and empathy. That's what it is, that feeling, that connection, and a feeling of empathy. Like for a second, you can almost connect with a squirrel. You could actually, I'm afraid of sounding corny here, but you can actually feel the other animal's emotions. That's what it feels like to me. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about my buddy the squirrel. I was calling him Rocco, but yesterday I decided Fatty was a better name. So it's the same squirrel every time. I'm sure of that. Because this squirrel definitely has a personality. It's this one particular squirrel, and then there's another one out there that comes up to me, but he doesn't come up as much as this one does. And he talks, he has this squeak, and I could see his stomach suck in, and he makes this squeak sound. And these are the two squirrels out there that I know. Anyway, if you haven't seen the squirrel video yet, I really urge you to take a look at it. It's unbelievable. I actually have much more video footage that I want to download with this squirrel. It's pretty incredible. I've never seen wild animal act like this. All right, you guys have a good Monday. I will do that Trump video sooner or later. Have a good Monday.